FanDuel. Well, first, let me welcome these guys. Hey, thank you so much for coming into the Midday Mix. These are the cousins over there on Twitter, as well using Periscope, and as well as on YouTube, man. Thank y'all. I'm glad y'all could join us for this session of the Midday Mix. And something that I want to talk to you about, we look at FanDuel, right? And if you notice, it seems a lot easier for some people to play on FanDuel because on DraftKings we've got so many different roster combinations because so many cats have dual eligibility. You got guys that can play small forward and power forward. Small forward and power forward, center, shooting guards, point guard. There's so many different combinations. Well, on FanDuel, it kind of simplifies it a little bit. So what I like to do when it comes to my FanDuel rosters is I want to win each position. I want to break it down in segments and do the best I can at a point per dollar ratio to go ahead and win each position. So I took the liberty of coming up with a few FanDuel plays at each position I think will allow you to pair that guy with another cat and win each position and do very well in your contest. So Kemba Walker, dude's at home. Price down from what the price is lower on FanDuel than he is on DraftKings, which makes him to me a play on FanDuel and sort of a fade on DraftKings. Like I don't have to pay for him on DraftKings. So he's priced down on FanDuel. He is at home in a super plus matchup against the Denver perimeter. I like him in that spot. Now you'd have to find another point guard to pair with him, and that's not hard to do because altogether I think we've only spent 27.3. We have that left, remaining salary. So that's 6.8K per player. Looking at Buddy Hield, another play that I do like at 5.1K. There is a revenge narrative involved in this game. There's a young player, an emotional player. I think he's going to go in there and will play very well in New Orleans. I like that. We also got Paul George, a guy who I absolutely love. Now, the price is up on him on FanDuel a little bit at 8.9, but I think he can still hit that 5.5, man. I have no issue with rocking with Paul George today. Next guy I'll be talking about is going to be Zach Randolph. Zebo is at 5.6. You already know there's no Marc Gasol. If they don't try no tricky shit like they did last time and give Brandon Wright the start, and we only saw 25 minutes of Zach Randolph, because dude is a point per minute monster, and he played 25 minutes and got just over a point per minute. So if we can see 30 minutes, baby, for Zach Randolph in the spot, I think that's going to be a really, really solid return on your investment. And the last play, and this is the most important position on FanDuel, bro. What up, big homie? The envious one. This is the most important position on FanDuel because if you bomb at this position, if you lose at the center spot, pretty much most of your lineups are gonna die because you get there's so much separation because you've got two spots everywhere. There's two spots everywhere in all the other positions where you could catch up. Like if one point guard doesn't play very well, the other one could ball out and you could catch up at that position. But at the center spot, you only got one shot, man. It's one shot, one kill. And from what I'm saying, this is the only place on FanDuel that I think ownership you must consider ownership on FanDuel at the center spot because you only get one shot at a good center. And I'm telling you, everybody's going to be on Boogie, bro. Especially in my single entries. In my single entry tournaments on FanDuel, I think Boogie is going to be like 45% owned. I really do. And is he not in a great spot? Is he not in a great blow-up spot? Of course he is. Of course he is. But being able to having to share that usage in some spots with cats like Anthony Davis, the game kind of being about some of the other guys on the team as well. I'm just not so sure that on FanDuel I want to pay up that 9.6. I'm just not sure I want to pay up there. And I think on a point per dollar level, I can get the same production from a guy like Jonas Valanciunas at 5.5. That's just where I'm going to go. I'm playing the ownership. I'm playing away from the ownership with this play. So if you want to play Boogie on FanDuel, lock him the fuck in. Just know it's going to be you and a ton of other motherfuckers. So we went into the core four already. I've highlighted a few FanDuel plays that I kind of like. And another thing is I'm going to play Boogie on DraftKings. And I want to be so invested across all the sites in one cat that is very volatile. Could go ham, punch somebody in the face, and get kicked out of the game. So I just don't want to go too hard on him. Okay, so that is going to be a formula for you to win the position over on FanDuel. I've highlighted a few plays that I kind of like. You can take it, like it, change it, do whatever you want to do with it. That's just something that I wanted to lay out for you. And again, sort of a core for FanDuel is going to be Kemba Walker, Buddy Hield, Paul George, Zach Randolph, and at the center spot where you got one shot and one kill is going to be Jonas Valanciunas. Now, let's go ahead and talk really quick about some of the players that are going to be affected by injury and rest, right? Let's talk about some of these guys, okay? So, ton of injury news because just like any other slate, man, it's a large 11-game slate. There's a lot that we have to get to. So, first guy we're going to talk about is Brandon Wright. Now, Brandon Wright had a very solid game out last time. He played 28 minutes in a starting role for the Memphis Grizzlies, and he scored 23 DraftKings points. If that does happen again tonight, and we know about it, DK Core 4, go check out the website at www.dfssweatshop.com. All right, so and there we've got everything, bro. We've got perfect lineup strategy. We've got the actual perfect player pool that comes from Mr. Rudy Hirata. We've got, of course, the Core 4 for DraftKings. We've got the Core 5 for FanDuel, all of that. So go check that out on the website. All right, so now you've got Brandon Wright, solid play. I think he can be a salary saver if you want to pay up for Russell Westbrook. And let me tell you, that's the biggest question on the slate right now. That is the biggest question on the slate right now is, what's up, Cordell? Do we pay up for Russell Westbrook? And I can tell you, on an 11-game slate, Russell Westbrook matched up against a team that does sort of limit not just the point guard position, but him in general. I think 60 points was the last he had against him, right? I just don't feel like I have to play. The slate is not telling me to play Russell Westbrook. Now, is it going to be an all-out fade on DraftKings? Yes, I'm not playing him on DraftKings. On FanDuel, when I've got a little bit more, to roll with, I think I can play him on FanDuel. But I am not playing Russell Westbrook on DraftKings. I don't care what value opens up. I'm just not playing him. I'm not playing him. I'm not. Now, I'll play him on FanDuel, but I'm not playing him on DraftKings. There's enough great solid plays in the middle tier for us to go ahead, man, and really stock up there and not have to be forced into playing Russell Westbrook. Then you got the Harden shit. I'm not playing Harden. After last night, seeing that he was really injured on the wrist, I can't play Harden. So that really simplified this 11-game slate. When these two guys are in play and are in great spots, and they could go off for a hundo, it makes the slate that much harder because you spend so much time trying to find value and make value to get these guys in. So I don't feel like that's the case for me tonight, especially over on DraftKings. So I am on an all-out DraftKings fade of Harden and of Westbrook. I will not have any of those guys. Back to the guys that are going to be affected by injury and or rest. Wilson Chandler, we've got him here. Now we know there's a good chance we don't have to see Plumlee. I think that does something. There's a chance that Will Barton is probably not going to be playing. We're looking at Wilson Chandler over the last 3 games, 31 DraftKings points, 9 points, and 37. So we need something to be done differently with that. The minutes are still there, 36, 25, and 34. We know that you can attack the Charlotte Hornets rebounding the basketball. I've got no issue here with Wilson Chandler. Next guy we're talking about that's going to be affected by injury is going to be Willie Cauley-Stein. Now, it's already come out that a lot of cats from Sacramento are not going to be in the lineup. We're not going to see Costa Kufas. I don't think we're going to see Ty Lawson. These are guys that do contribute, and without those guys, I think Willie Cauley-Stein is in line for a decent, solid game. Boogie is big to me today. Oh yeah. I think Boogie's going to go big. I think he is definitely. Zach Randolph, another guy we talked about just a few seconds ago. We know that we're probably not going to be seeing JaMychal Green. We already know that Gasol is already ruled out, so that definitely bodes well for Zach Randolph, priced at 6.7. It is up a little bit, but I think he's definitely usable. He is more usable to me over on FanDuel where he's cheaper. So I'm not going to have a ton of them on DraftKings today, but I will have some of them on FanDuel. Next guy we're talking about is Dario Saric. There's a few injuries to talk about on the Philadelphia side, and you know what? Saric didn't have a really great game out last time. I think that's going to take people off of him. I don't think he's going to see a hella high ownership. I like the spot that he's in. Over the last 3 games, the minutes are there, 39, 37, 28. Has not scored more than 32 DraftKings points over the last 3 games. I think that changes tonight, so I have no issue with rocking with Dario Saric. I think that's a very solid play for us. Next guy, Matthew Dellavedova. What do we think about Delly now? Because Delly is going up against Detroit, man. They're not that great defending at the point guard spot. We see a ton of minutes for Matthew Dellavedova at 3.2. For you guys that got to get Westbrook in your lineup, I think this is the place where you should look. Him and Brandon Wright, I think is the place that you should look. Over the last 3 games, 19, 18, and 18 minutes, all that goes out of the window because he's probably going to be getting a start and playing. So I don't have any issue with rocking with Matthew Dellavedova if you need that salary-saving option. You want to pay up in other spots. 18 DraftKings points, or 14, 14, and 10 over the last 3 games. He's going to get a ton of minutes, bro. He's going to get a ton of minutes. And he's a fairly decent defender. Matched up against Ish Smith. I mean, it looks like somebody that we could take a look at. I'll put it like that. Next guy we're talking about is going to be Buddy Hield. This guy definitely benefits from Aflalo and Ty Lawson not playing. I think you can take a shot at him. 7.5 DraftKings points the last time out. I don't think that the narrative, the revenge narrative, is going to play a bigger role in his ownership as we all think in the beginning. I think it's more about Boogie. And I think people are going to not really pay that 5.5 for Buddy Hield, who I think is in a very solid spot. The New Orleans Pelicans are on our list as far as targets for that perfect lineup spot. They have given quite a few perfect lineup spots up, and I think that Buddy Hield, in the spot that he's in, can be a solid play. 7.5, 19, and 30 over the last 3. Had that 47-point game against Golden State. So, I mean, you can look at him. You can definitely look at him. You can definitely check him out. I don't have an issue there with him at all. Next guy we're talking about, pulling up my projections, is going to be Mike Conley. Now, that, I would expect it to hurt Mike Conley that Marc Gasol is not going to be there because those guys play, very well off of each other. But if you look at over the last 3 games, bro, dude's been balling 59, 38, 40 over the last 3. Seen a ton of minutes, 38, 40, 37. I think that continues tonight. This team is still playing with something. They're playing for playoff seeding. I like the price on him, 8.1. Although on an 11 game slate, we've been kind of forewarned about spending that much, paying up over 8K for a point guard. But I think Mike Conley is one of those guys we can definitely make reconsider and do that for. I like the spot that he's in. I like Mike Conley today. Next guy we're talking about is going to be somebody who I know is not going to see the ownership that he deserves. Danilo Gallinari, 32, 24, and 35 over the last 3 games in minutes. I love the spot that Danilo Gallinari is in. This dude was core 4 considerable because to the small forward position and the shooting guard position, the Charlotte Hornets give it up. They give it up. And he's going to be benefiting from Plumlee is not in. We're probably not going to be seeing Will Barton, which is going to help his cause playing that extension of minutes as a starter. So I definitely like Danilo Gallinari. And the dude is cheap as shit, 5.9. And this is a guy that has 40, damn near 50-point upside, bro. So I really think that you should consider getting him in your lineups. We got over on YouTube, it says a nice pivot off of Cousins is Jokic. I agree. Definitely I agree. Barton is doubtful at this point, yes. And Nikola Jokic is the next guy on the list. Good call over there on YouTube. You love him, Gary Harris, both priced down compared to FanDuel. Yes, I do. I agree. Denver players stay fouling. That is true. That is an issue. The good thing about this is Jokic, there's nobody that's that active around the basket to where, and Kemba doesn't really attack the basket the way he was in the beginning of the season. So I don't think that, foul trouble is going to be a big issue for Nikola Jokic. And this is a guy, man, who has huge upside, has not been performing very well as of late. 59, 27, and 42 over the last 3 games, but priced up in some spots at 10K, and then between 9 and 10K, I think you want a little bit more than that. I think he's in line for a solid run of minutes. Could definitely blow up some shit tonight. So I don't have any issue. Josh Dewey over in the fan and VIP says the pivot from Cousins is Gobert. I can dig that as well. So now that we've laced you all with some of the just the overall content from the evening, man, let's go ahead and jump into a little bit of slate breakdown, man. This is where we're going to just take a look at the slate as a whole. And I think there's a couple of games that we can kind of X off that we don't really want to fuck with, man. And one of them, I can tell you, I'm not going to talk too much about, is that Detroit game. I'm just not going to talk too much about that game. I'm so pissed with the Pistons right now. I'm pissed with the Pistons right now because they fucking suck, bro. They suck. And there's so much talent on that team. And to have them playing as bad as they've been playing lately is a fucking disgrace. And there's no way that Van Gundy should keep that job. Like that's got to be done. That's got to be over. Van Gundy has got to be dead. There's no way that he should be able to keep that job after the season. No way. And now we did see, okay, how do I feel about Corey Joseph against Jeff Teague? You know what? Jeff Teague is not as sweet on defense as we think. Even though Corey Joseph is in a very solid spot, I would just, I don't know. I'm not on Corey Joseph. I'm not I'm not on Corey Joseph. Mason Plumlee center is playing Friday. Okay, Plumlee is playing. Plumlee is in. That does give a hit in some perspective because we got Plumlee, we've got Fareed. I know Darrell Arthur is out. That kind of does take a hit on my Jokic exposure. It does. It does offer a hit there. And that is the first game on the slate. The Denver Nuggets and the Charlotte Hornets. Just going up quick over the injury news. Will Barton, game time decision. Kenneth Fareed is playing. He is in. We've got Mason Plumlee is in. He's going to be playing. Brian Roberts, Ramon Sessions, and Johnny O'Brien are the only injury concerns we do have on the Charlotte Hornets side. This is a 219.5 point total. 1.5 point spread. I like this game a lot. No Joseph. I'm not saying no Joseph, but I just don't like him. I just don't like him as much as I have recently. And I've been on him when he's been scoring those 40-point games. How do I feel about Monroe being cheap center option? There's too much great starting center options for me to fuck with Jason Kidd and that flip-floppy shit. The dude balls. Every time he goes back and plays Detroit, he does ball. But the game is in Milwaukee. It's not the same as a real narrative where, they go to Detroit. It's not the same. He doesn't like that team at all. He doesn't like the Detroit Pistons, and he tries to play well against them. But I just think there's a little bit more starting meat on the bone that I want to rock with when it comes to these guys. Hey, Guru, I just sent the payment for 1 month membership. Now what do? You get to the money, baby. You get to the money. I got you. As soon as the session is over, man, I'm going to link up with you, and we'll get you in here. We'll move you from here, off YouTube, into the Facebook VIP, where it all goes down. Also, and keep the questions coming, man. I'm going to be answering those as much as I can. Vooch is the lock, I'm telling you. I just don't agree. KCP must have had some Henny in the locker room. Yeah, I don't know. KCP, he got fucked up for being drunk, man. He must have been drunk during that game. Val or TT? Valanciunas. I like Valanciunas. Now, let's be real about this because, let's talk about this. Because there's kind of a law that we've developed in the sweatshop where we love to attack the Philadelphia 76ers at the center position, especially when there's no Joel Embiid. But we like to attack them with centers that can actually score the ball, that can actually, play and have an offensive game. And I'm not saying that Tristan Thompson can't play or has zero offensive game, but I think on a slate like tonight, with the Indiana Pacers, being one of the worst teams against the against centers, I don't want to pay down to Tristan Thompson when I can just pay a little bit more and grab Jonas Valanciunas. And another thing is, if I'm stacking Cleveland in some spots, yeah, I definitely can roll with Tristan Thompson if I think that this is going to be a game stack situation. Greg Monroe is a no for me. I'm not on Greg Monroe. I am not on Greg Monroe. Thompson at least 15 boards tonight, and I could see it, bro. I could see it. We love to attack Philadelphia at the center spot. He just doesn't have an offensive game that I think is going to guarantee me that big double-double. Dude says Trump on the. Hey, yo, YouTube is ruthless, bro. He's like Trump. I mean, it's all good, baby. Trump, as long as he don't want to take away DFS, he fine with me. Fuck it. Trying to figure out who to pair Russ with. That's tough. I'm not on Russell Westbrook. That's tough. All right, now next game we're talking about is the Indiana Pacers going to Toronto, taking on the Raptors. Man, this is a 5.5 point spread, a 204.5 point total. I like that point total. I like the fact that both of the point totals are not super high, which means we can take advantage of some of the studs in there. Give me some of that Paul George. Pour him on me, baby. I like Paul George tonight. I even like Jeff Teague in some spots. Not going to be on Miles Turner. The injury news here, Lance Stevenson is out. I don't think he's available to play with the team yet. Glenn Robinson, little dog, Glenn Robinson is out. And we've got Kyle Lowry, of course, going to be out on the Toronto side. Toronto is at full strength with the exception of Kyle Lowry. DeMar DeRozan, man, is a riddle wrapped inside a puzzle in an enigma. Because the DVP is not very good for him. But Indiana does give it up in some spots to the shooting guards. And this guy, man, 8.5K, if he was priced down a little bit less. Thad Young tonight? Nah, I'm not on Thad Young. If he was priced down just a little bit more, he'd be definitely a core 4 considerable play. So I'm going to have him in a couple of spots. Just not as much as some of the other guys, man. Just not as much as I like Avery Bradley. I don't like him as much as I like Avery Bradley. I'm gonna take the discount. But DeMar DeRozan, man, very, very tough player to fade. Very tough player to fade. Let's check him out over the last 3 games. 46, 42, 37, 53, and 66. The dude has been balling. So if you want to take a shot on him, I don't have an issue with that in the least. And I think he's going to see definitely most of the scoring, most of the usage, everything. So he's a guy that you can look at. A guy I like more, of course, in this matchup with these two teams is Valanciunas. I like the spot that he's in. Corey Joseph is against the first-ranked DVP against the point guard spot. That's kind of why I'm not on him. Dominique Villanueva says he likes Clay over DeRozan, and I can see why. Bigger point total. He is the helper in that spot, so the helpers we know always get to the money when it comes to those bigger ones. I'm cooking. Well, I'm trying to do the thing. You pair Russ with them guys around 5K. Yeah. I'm not playing Russell Westbrook, bro, on DraftKings. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. And another stat is Money Mike Manningham, man. He figured this out. Anytime that Russell Westbrook is priced above 13K, the dude fucking makes value. He goes nuts. He's at 12.9. He's at 12.9. Think about that. 12.9. So, DeMarre Carroll is also a guy. Now when it comes to our perfect lineup research, DeMarre Carroll is in a really good spot. But, the question is, do you want to take a shot on him? And I think I'm going to trust the process. I'm going to, if I know that a guy is capable of, taking advantage, if a guy is capable of taking advantage of a team that's giving up a ton of, I know, QV, I know. But if a dude is able to take advantage, I think, that's why I'm playing him on FanDuel. That's why I'm playing on FanDuel. He's 13.3, not on DraftKings. So, DeMarre Carroll, man, when he gets the minutes, bro, he can score. Over the last 3 games, not a lot. 25, 21, and 17 minutes. Really down in minutes. The lowest amount of minutes yielded the most fantasy points. The last time against Indiana, he was priced at 3.6, and he scored 26 fantasy points. That's why I like him. And he's still priced down. He's at 3.6. The last time against him, he scored 26 points. I like him. I think I can rock with him. Serge Ibaka, no, I'm not on Serge Ibaka. I don't like Serge Ibaka today. Next game we're talking about is the Orlando Magic going to Boston to take on the Celtics. This is a 217-point total. The game is projected to be a blowout. You have any cheap power forward that you like? Probably the cheapest power forward that I like is going to be Jason Smith in that matchup against the Utah Jazz. They give it up to the power forward spot, and I think he can be a solid play for the cheap. Kemba, I like Kemba. Yes, I like Kemba on FanDuel, not as much on DraftKings. Give me some Kemba. Pour Kemba on me, baby, at the crib, at the Beehive on FanDuel. Brandon Wright, yes, give me some Brandon Wright, especially if he's going to be starting, and hopefully we know that before lineups lock. And the old man Vince, I can't fuck with Vince, man. I'm not on him. Played Indy 4 times, averaged 30 DK points. Surge, okay, I can get it. I can dig it. Amir Johnson as a punt. I'm not on Amir Johnson. No, I'm not on Amir Johnson. If I would like anybody at power forward on Boston Celtics, it'd be like Kelly Olynyk, who's probably going to see a ton of minutes because this game might get away from them. So that's a guy that I kind of like at 3.9. I don't have an issue with Kelly Olynyk. I like Avery Bradley at 5.9. Not completely in love with Isaiah Thomas. This is a matchup where the Orlando Magic do limit the point guard position, so I won't be fucking with him. I won't be coming up. Corey Green says John Wall will go over 50 tonight. That's perfectly doable, bro. He's been balling out of control. I think 60 points in the last 3 games. 60 plus points in the last 3. Yes, he's definitely considerable. TJ McConnell. Is TJ McConnell in play? Good question. Because TJ McConnell is in play for me on FanDuel, not on DraftKings. Priced up 6.2, I don't want that. The dude has like a 32-point ceiling, and I think I'm going to need more from that. I can get more from that in another spot. Vooch and Horford will be overlooked. And that's right. That's right. Because you know that for the Boston Celtics, we can target those cats rebounding, man. And we can choose, do we want to do that with a guy like Vucevic priced up to 7.7? Do we want to take a chance maybe on someone else because Aaron Gordon might not play? If Aaron Gordon doesn't play, are we going to see Jeff Green is already out? So who's going to play the power forward in that spot? Who's going to step into the starting rotation? Will it be Mario Hezonja? He's priced down to 3.2. That's maybe a salary saving option we can take a look at. Definitely. So not a lot that I actually love on the Orlando side. Not a lot that I love. For the Boston side, though, I do like Avery Bradley, and I think Kelly Olynyk can be a very solid salary saver there. Chandler, Blake, and IT2. Have not looked who are some perfect lineup matchups. Actually, I can pull that up for you in just a moment, too. But let's go ahead and jump into the next game, man. This is the Philadelphia Cantor. Cantor's a point per minute guy. If he does get a lot of minutes, I can definitely see that. How about Dragic and 2 other point guards? Mo, if no Westbrook, how about Dragic and 2 other point guards? You know what? On 11-game slates, I think those are point guard slates. When you got this many point guards, you rarely see an 11-game slate where at least 4 or 5 point guards don't just end up being the fucking nuts. You know what I'm saying? So on a smaller slates, like 6 to 8 games, I like to go 2 centers. But on these larger slates, 11 games or stuff like that, I'm gonna be rocking with quite a few point guards in my roster. I'm gonna be in situations where I got like 4, maybe 5 point guards. That's just how I'm rocking. So Philadelphia and the Cleveland Cavaliers, it's a 9.5 point spread. 216 points is the total. We've got 113 implied team total for the Cleveland side. That tells me that today the Cleveland Cavaliers are stackable. The Cavaliers are stackable. LeBron is priced very nicely at 10K. Just coming off that loss, they're going to want to play well. Darren Collison today with Ty Lawson out. 32 DraftKings points per game versus New Orleans Pelicans this season. Yes, I like him. I like him. I like him. Definitely. Yeah, we can rock with him. So what that tells me is this game is stackable. And Kyrie has been playing extra shitty lately. Nobody is going to want to play Kyrie, but he's in a very solid, perfect lineup matchup when it comes to TJ McConnell on the Philadelphia side. I am going to have a lineup where I stack 4. I'm going Tristan Thompson, Kevin Love, Kyrie Irving, and LeBron James. I will do that. Because I can do that, pay all the way down to a couple guys in the 3K range and still pay up for one more guy, maybe Paul George. Collison or Hield. On DraftKings, I would go Collison. On FanDuel, I would go Hield. Because I like 2 other point guards on FanDuel. J.R. Smith. You know, this is funny, right? Let's talk about this. Because the 76ers are towards the top when it comes to the perfect lineup matchups. So that would kind of tell us, if we just plug and play and deal with the data, it's going to tell us that, man, J.R. Smith is in a dream spot. But part of this is figuring out who is going to, if the guy that's in that spot is actually capable of capitalizing on being in such a great DVP matchup, a true DVP matchup. And I don't think that is where J.R. Smith's game is right now. I don't think his game is in a spot where he can go out and just really crush. I just don't think his game is there. Even though it's a solid matchup, I don't think so. Guru, what up, bro? First time in the Midday Mix. Yo, thank you for being here, brother. Thank you. Tristan Thompson, double easy. I can see it. J.R. Smith's shot is kind of back. Okay, same like the drum says, J.R. Smith's shot is kind of back, but I need it to be more than kind of back, baby. I need him to be dropping that bitch, and that's just not what's been going on for him lately. Shelvin Mack love. No. I'm not on Shelvin Mack, no. He's splitting the minutes. It was different early in the season when like they knew for a fact that Dante Exum sucked ass. Then they played fucking Shelvin Mack all of the minutes. He was getting 30 minutes, and that was cool. I had no issue with that. But now he's splitting the minutes with Dante Exum, and I don't want to deal with a split minute point guard. Dante Exum splitting the minutes with Shelvin Mack. I don't want to deal with that. I'm on Mack going to get 30 minutes. Well, they've been splitting over the last few. Let's check out Shelvin Mack's minutes to see exactly where it was at. And I could be wrong about this, but let's check out Shelvin Mack's minutes over the last couple of games. Let's go ahead and check those out. Okay, last time against Sacramento, he had 23 fantasy points at 3.7K. That's not bad. He played 29 minutes. The game before that, he played 3 minutes. So, I mean, yeah. I mean, he could play. I'm not on him, though. I'm not. Like I said, I can definitely stack the Cleveland side. I like that. Yo, they are fucking mean on YouTube, bro. Damn. They are mean on YouTube. All right, so Dallas Mavericks and the Memphis Grizzlies. George Hill's out. That's something that we have to get to when we get to that game. So we've got the Dallas Mavericks and the Memphis Grizzlies. This is a game that I really do not want to touch a lot. I really don't. Now, the injuries we've got on the Memphis side, we've got Andrew Harrison is going to be a game time decision. Also, we've got Marc Gasol's already out. We know that JaMychal Green is out. Chandler Parsons, of course, has been out for like the last 2 years. So Brandon Wright, yes, give me Brandon Wright. This is one of the worst matchups against for the power forward spot. Give me him. And I was mad to see that Brandon Wright was not power forward eligible on FanDuel, man. That really destroyed a couple of my lineups. It really did. So Mike Conley and Brandon Wright will be the first 2 guys I look at. I'm not paying up for Zebo in this spot at 6.7. I think I can get different, pretty much better production at a cheaper price. But I do love him over on FanDuel. Talking about Zach Randolph, I have no issue there. Dallas Mavericks side, man, it says that they give it up to the power forward spot. Now, what I could roll out right with Westy, yes. I mean, you're gonna have to have a play like that. If you're paying up for Russell Westbrook, even at 12.9, bro, you're gonna have to have plays like that. You're gonna have to have plays like that. Definitely. So Harrison Barnes is a play that a lot of you are not gonna like. I love him on FanDuel. I like him on DraftKings, but I love him on FanDuel, bro. 5.7K. He's gonna be the guy that's gonna have to score. I don't see Dirk Nowitzki playing a ton of minutes, but I do see the back down king Harrison Barnes playing straight ISO ball most of this game. The point total is very low, so definitely a lot of the usage is going to go his way. So I definitely do think we can look to Harrison Barnes today. Nobody's going to want to be on him. No Nerlens for me. No Wesley Matthews. I don't even like Lil Bruh. I don't like this game in general. This game we're talking about is going to be the New York Knicks, my New York Knicks, with their sorry ass going to Miami to get their asses handed to them by the Miami Heat. Now, what's up, bro? I really don't think that you should get too cute and just not play, Dragic. I love Dragic in this spot. A lot of times we look 20 games back to see what a guy did against a team. Well, we can look 2 nights ago, and the dude just destroyed us. Why would he do it again? I like him. I'm on him. He's a player that I definitely do like. Injury concerns we do have. We got Dion Waiters, of course, is out. Justice Winslow has been out for quite some time. Chris Bosh, we know that. On the New York side, Carmelo Anthony is a game-time decision. Also, Derrick Rose is a game-time decision. Lance Thomas is out. So check this out, man. The last time we went to the Carmelo Anthony thing, it burned us. It burned a lot of us. And don't let that convince you that he can't be a solid play. I'm going to do this price at 6.6K. This is a guy that was just 8K, right? So I don't think that is a guy that you should completely write off. 29 minutes. He had the minutes. He just didn't play well. It's not like, oh man, Carmelo Anthony laid down and just, didn't play a lot of minutes and the team did something. No, he played 29 minutes. He just didn't shoot the ball well. So 6.6, man, I'm going to take a shot at Carmelo because if there's one place we can attack the Miami Heat, it is at that small forward spot. So I am going to take a shot at Carmelo Anthony. If Derrick Rose is out, I don't like any of those guys, those cheaper guys. No. He was questionable. Yes, he's questionable. I don't like any of those guys there. Maybe some Chris Stapps. Not a big fan of that, but we can attack the Heat at the power forward spot. I don't have an issue there. What do I think about Beasley? I am not playing Beasley. I can't play Beasley. First game back from injury, I can't play him. On the Miami Heat side, we talked about Goran Dragic already. Whiteside is a play I like. Josh Richardson is really a play I like at 5.3. I think that price is up just enough to where people are not going to want to play him, but I do like him. No Rodney Magruder for me today. I'm not on Rodney Magruder. I'm not on him. Next game we're talking about is the Detroit Pistons going to Milwaukee. Yes. I'm sorry. How did I leave James Johnson out? I like him. I like James Johnson. And James Johnson is a play that I think you can look to if you want to get exposure to New York against the center spot, but you just don't feel quite comfortable paying all the way up 7.9, which is not that high, for Hassan Whiteside. I think that's a spot you can definitely look to James Johnson in. Definitely. Detroit, Milwaukee. Dude, Whitney Morgan just says, I think I might fade Detroit, Milwaukee. Fuck yeah. I don't want anything to do with this game. I really don't. How do you feel about TLC and Stauskas? I would split the difference between those two guys. They're both in solid spots. I can't do it, man. Is KCP going to be sober? Is KCP going to be there? I mean, you just got bumped off. You just got locked up. Is he going to be able to play? I don't see playing Melo even priced up. Kuzminskis is in a great spot. So yeah, if there's no Melo, definitely you can fire Kuzminskis. Definitely, if there's no Melo, I mean, Kuzminskis is still very cheap. You can play him. The Pistons are gonna get blown out. If if Melo is out, you got Kuzminskis. I can agree with that. Definitely, I can agree. All right, so this Detroit Milwaukee game, I don't like this game at all. The only guy that kind of interests me tonight when it comes to the Milwaukee side is gonna be Giannis, for the simple fact that he's just such a great talent. And a guy can overcome, he's matchup proof, can overcome any obstacle in front of him. Really great player. We may be able to give him some consideration. He's priced down to 9.3. I kind of like that. No Chris Middleton for me. Melo out, Porzingis usage goes up. Yes. Jay Guns, you are right. I like that. Brogdon is out. Brogdon is not playing. Brogdon is out. So that means we're going to probably see the start from Matthew Dellavedova at 3.2. That is a guy that you can use. You can use Matthew Dellavedova if you need to, if you're trying to make up for salary in other spots. Not a problem there. So, on the Detroit side, it's just so hard for me to roster cats from Detroit. This ain't a complete game fade for me because I might stick my hand in some Dellavedova or even some Giannis. But, I am not playing anyone from Detroit. I am not. I am pissed. I'm not. Next game we're talking about, this is a game that a lot of people are, Jason Terry as a punt play. That's interesting. That's interesting. Next game is Sacramento and the New Orleans Pelicans. I think if we get this game right, bro, if we can get this game right, I definitely think it can separate us in some tournaments because I don't see, a lot of people flocking to cats on the Sacramento side. And luckily, early in the day, I'm talking 12:30, 1 o'clock Eastern time, we already know who is not going to be playing. There are no game time decisions for Sacramento. These motherfuckers are just straight up out. I'm talking about Costa Kufas out. Ty Lawson out. Malachi Richardson out. Aaron Aflalo out. So we can look at this, man. Tyreek Evans is going to be playing. I like him. He's priced down, cheap as shit, especially on DraftKings. I don't love him as much on FanDuel, where he's priced up a little bit more. But Tyreek Evans at 4.3, bro, that's a very solid play. Going back to New Orleans, that is the narrative there. So, I think we can look at that, as well as Buddy Hield. He's priced up a little bit more. If I had to choose between the two, knowing that both of those guys are going to be in the starting rotation, I would go with Tyreek Evans. I like the spot that he's in, definitely. We can roster from there. Darren Collison, priced at $5K. Not a beautiful, sexy matchup for him, but I think he does deserve consideration at $5K flat. On the New Orleans Pelican side, stack the Kings. He said stack the Kings. AD been on a tear, could win your GPP playing well. How you feel about Evans is starting? I like him. I like Tyreek Evans. Definitely. Collison or Reek? I would go Tyreek. Evans. AD. Andy Williams says he likes AD. Everybody's going to be on Boogie, so AD will be like an ultra contrarian play. Everybody's going to be on Boogie. But I think, let's talk about this, man, because your teammates know. Even a lot of times, if you personally don't buy into the narrative, if Boogie's not saying, I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna crush them motherfuckers, I guarantee you, the Pelicans team want to show Boogie that he should stay with them, and the right decision was made. So I can kind of see AD taking a back seat, like wanting to take a back seat in order to make sure that Boogie really wrecks shop against this team, and that's what kind of takes me off of AD and puts me more on to Boogie if I'm going to roster one of the bigs in this game. You know what I'm saying? These guys are teammates. They share the locker room. And he wants him to know, hey, when I talk to you when I talk to the team and go into trading you, this is why I did it. Now go out and drop 70 points on them bitches. Like, I can see that happening. Now, Drew Holiday. Yes, I like Drew Holiday in the spot. 6.7, very solid price there. Now, he has moved over to the shooting guard, and the Sacramento Kings give it up to the shooting guard spot. They are a part of that perfect lineup research that we've been doing. So you can definitely look to Drew Holiday. I like him as well. The narrative may just fuck with Boogie's head. I don't know. Dude's a fucking beast, man. He's gonna play well. No Willie Cauley-Stein. No, I am not on Willie Cauley-Stein. Gonna run one Boogie line just in case. I can dig that. LBJ and Boogie stack with TJ McConnell. I like everything except TJ McConnell unless you're playing on FanDuel. Next game we're talking about is going to be the San Antonio Spurs and the Oklahoma City Thunder. This is the question of the day. Everybody wants to know, what do I do? Do I play Russell Westbrook? Do I fade Russell Westbrook? Well, I can tell you what I'm doing. I'm playing him on FanDuel. I'm fading him on DraftKings. Last time against this team, he had, I believe, 60 DraftKings points. So let's take a look back at what he's done specifically against the San Antonio Spurs. Pop is like a basketball version of Bill Belichick. He knows how to take players out of the game. He knows what to do, right? So let's check it out. Last time against San Antonio, he had 66.25 points. That's not horrible. For 12.9, that's not horrible. You want more, though, because if you play Russell Westbrook, you want 80. I know you want 80, because that's what the fuck I want, right? I think they did play him again this season. He had 57.5 against them. 57.5. And played 34 minutes in that game. So I'm not gonna, I don't like him on DraftKings especially, man. I'm not on him. I'm not on him. I don't have the flexibility to roster that cat, man. So I'm not on him. I'm calling out a Westbrook fade. He can have a triple double and keep the record going, and not have a big one, not have a 57-point triple double. He can have a 25-point triple double and still keep the record and keep shit going the way he really wants to. So that's why I'm not going to be on him. I'm not. LaMarcus Aldridge, 7K, not a player I'm particularly interested in. I do like Kawhi Leonard in this spot. He's going to be matched up against Andre Roberson. I think that's a very winnable matchup for him. He's priced at 9.4. Don't have an issue there. Good day to fade Westbrook and Harden. Yes, it's a perfect day to fade both of them, bro. Do I like Cantor? Yes, I like Cantor. Very good point per minute player. We're going to see a really bad Steve Adams not play very well. And I think Cantor at 4.8 at the discount. Oh my God, we're playing San Antonio discount. Everybody gets scared. We can definitely rock with him there. Definitely. So this game, to me, really centers around Kawhi and maybe some Enes Kanter there. That's where I'm going to be rocking. Next game we're talking about is the Washington Wizards and the Utah Jazz. The Washington Wizards, this is another spot to be talking about. Because the Washington Wizards, Taj Gibson might be out. That is true. The Washington Wizards have given up the most perfect lineup spots to the power forward. And what do you do with that? Because it's not like Derek Favors is playing. It's not like a big body is going to be down there. You're going to have probably Boris Diaw get the start, or maybe Joe Johnson. And what do we do there? Joe Johnson gets the start and plays the actual power forward. I'm locking him the fuck in at 4.5. I just am. I like him. Now we also know that the Utah Jazz give up to the power forward spot, and that leads me to like Jason Smith, man. He's very cheap. He's still priced down 3.3. I like that as a salary saving option. I can rock with him. John Wall is another wild card to look at. LBJ is overdue for a monster game. I agree. Christopher Valentinas agrees with me on Joe Johnson. I like him. He said, Josh, you says you take Gobert. You just take Gobert. Robert Gobert. 8.2. That's a hefty tag, man. I like to pay down at center and pay up at a point guard spot tonight. Hey, Sylvia DeMarco, thank you, man. I love you as well, man. Doesn't Utah play at a slow pace and it will hurt Wall? You know what? And see, that's a part of it. Utah playing at a slow pace. But I'm going to tell you something. The pace of any NBA game is usually dictated by the very best player on the floor. So when it comes to John Wall playing against the Utah Jazz, playoff atmosphere, what's going on now, I don't think that you have to, rely so much on pace, because John Wall is going to dictate the pace. He's going to push the fucking ball. And one of those things that really helped him to keep that slow pace was to have a point guard that was a very solid on-ball defender to kind of stop the ball and slow it down. That was George Hill. George Hill is out. So I think that's going to change up everything when it comes to pace. I think you can look to John Wall today. I really do. 9.2 is the price tag. I have no issue with rostering him. Will I have a ton of him? Probably not. But I definitely think that he's considerable. I've got, with the core four that, I'm rolling out for myself on DraftKings, I was able to, have a short order core. That way I could pay up for guys like John Wall. I could pay up for Boogie. I could pay up for Anthony Davis if I so choose. That's why I went with a short order core four. So I do like John Wall in some spots. Even Giannis. I can pay up for Giannis in some spots. That's what I like. So Brad Beal, not a player I'm particularly interested in. Like Rudy said earlier in the perfect lineup video, man, these guys are not really helping them. And if the total was 101.8, and I think that John Wall's going to see that 20 to 30% usage, I like him. I can take a shot on him definitely. On the Utah side, I don't want Shelvin Mack, bro. I don't want Wall or Steph tonight. I would go Wall. Exum going to be fouled up. Right? So really quick, before we close out, we went through all the games. Before we close out, I do want to just jump into this really quick, man. Y'all are going to get a very special treat, YouTube and Twitter, the cousins over there. I want to open this up for you really quick and just show you something. Like, what we've done is, and this is something that's visible on the website. What we've done is we've come up with the top 10 teams to attack. This was last night's perfect lineup. I know the screen is backwards for you, but it's okay. You're going to get through it. This is the perfect lineup from last night. Rubio, Booker, Marcus Morris, Gorgie Jang, Tariq Black, Rajon Rondo, Nikolai Mirotic, and Chris Paul. Now, we have come up with some really solid research, man, and shout out to Rudy, man, very solid research. This is like top notch in the game right now. It's got the DFS world ablaze right now, and we've ranked them here from left to right of the teams that give up the most perfect lineup spots to by position. And what we've done here, man, we've set this up. Green is go, blue is a little bit cautious, orange is kind of at your own risk stuff here. Very solid work that we're doing, man. If you want to see this in its entirety and know exactly how to incorporate it into your DraftKings or FanDuel builds, hit us up on the website, man, www.DFSsweatshop.com. Coleman Singleton, the core four, should be somewhere in the comments. I will, as soon as we close this out, I will go ahead and adjust the group. We as America need to come together and make America great again. I agree. And we do that by loving each other. I love you all. Thank you so much. So let's go out and have a very, very profitable Friday night. Remember, and I'm going to pull this up. Remember, if you are intimidated, if you feel intimidated by the 11-game slate, if you do, okay? If you feel intimidated by the 11-game slate, my suggestion would be to go into the turbo, make some lineups. We've got, Dallas, Memphis, New York, Miami, Detroit, Milwaukee, Sacramento, New Orleans, and San Antonio, Oklahoma City. I think you can find enough juice in those games to make some lineups you really like in the turbo. And if you really love them, throw them bitches in the main. Where do you find that perfect lineup matchup? Go to the website, www.DFSsweatshop.com, big homie. That's all you got to do. So, now let's go ahead and close out today's session. Thanking you so much for coming into the Midday Mix. I really hope you guys go out and have a very profitable Friday, man. Thank you so much. Of course, we got baseball rolling in pretty soon. We're going to be getting into all of that. I've got some stuff slated to really get into with you guys on as far as baseball goes. I just want to tell you so much. Thank you so much for everything you've done for me, man. Y'all have a wonderful and profitable Friday. And remember, the number one thing that I want you to do when you're in the sweatshop is keep it 300. Thank y'all too, man. Twitter, shout out to y'all, man. Excellent. Glad y'all were here, man. Y'all have a wonderful, profitable day, man. Appreciate y'all so much, man. Thank you. YouTube. Shout out to YouTube where I got my start, man. Thank y'all so much, man. Y'all go out. Let's get this money, y'all. Let's do it.